Black and blue, I crawled along the wreckage of what now is gone. Back to you to fight another day. I'll go on and on and on and on. I'll face it, the demons I created with every last part of me. The pain will fade and I'll go on and on and on and on. I'll face it, the demons I created with every last part of me. The pain will fade and I'll go on and on and on and on. Black and blue, I crawl to you. Black and blue, I crawl to you.
This is dangerous, JR. This is real dangerous. Well, Michael, this is going to be fun to watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your SmackDown Recap Fallout Show. I'm your host, the Boss Chase Carter. We're going to be going over SmackDown tonight, live SmackDown. Was the first time I ever went live on Tuesday night here with the live draft. We're going to be going over all this tonight. We got a lot of ground to keep you up to date. This live draft really seemed like it went 4 hours tonight. It was really a long night. That's why I'm late doing the podcast here now. But like I said, let's go over the draft first before I go over like the matches and stuff that happened on SmackDown. Since that's obviously what most people want to know anyway, what's going on. Anyway, let's go over the draft, and we're going to go over the draft picks right now. Okay, we're going to go over Raw's picks first, and then we're going to go over SmackDown's picks, okay? Okay, for Monday Night Raw, these are the picks that we got for Monday Night Raw roster as of right now. And the both rosters are complete. So here they are. Number one draft pick for Monday Night Raw, Seth Rollins. Then we got Charlotte. Then we got the former NXT champion, Finn Balor. Yes, Finn Balor going to Monday Night Raw, drafted. We got Roman Reigns going to Raw. We got the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar, going to Raw. We got the New Day drafted to Raw. Sami Zayn drafted to Raw. Sasha Banks drafted to Raw. Chris Jericho has been drafted to Raw. We got Rusev drafted to Raw. Kevin Owens drafted to Raw. Enzo and Big Cass drafted to Raw. We got Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows drafted to Raw. Also for Monday Night Raw, we got The Big Show has been drafted to Raw. Nia Jax has been drafted to Raw. Neville has been drafted to Raw. Cesaro has been drafted to Raw. Sheamus has been drafted to Raw. Golden Truth has been drafted to Raw. Titus O'Neil has been drafted to Raw. Paige has been drafted to Raw. Darren Young has been drafted to Raw. Sin Cara has been drafted to Raw. Jack Swagger has been drafted to Raw. The Dudley Boys have been drafted to Raw. Summer Rae has been drafted to Raw. Mark Henry has been drafted to Raw. And then Braun Strowman has been drafted to Raw. Bo Dallas has been drafted to Raw. The Shining Stars have been drafted to Raw. Alicia Fox has been drafted to Raw. Dana Brooke has been drafted to Raw. And Curtis Axel has been drafted to Raw. And that is all of your Raw roster right there. And of course, naturally, Raw is going to have the bigger roster because it is a flagship show. Plus, it's also a 3-hour program, 3-hour show. Now, here is the SmackDown roster. Here it is. The number one for SmackDown is Dean Ambrose. The number 2 is the phenomenal AJ Styles for SmackDown. John Cena drafted to SmackDown. Randy Orton, drafted to SmackDown. Bray Wyatt, drafted to SmackDown. Becky Lynch, drafted to SmackDown. The Miz, drafted to SmackDown. Baron Corbin has been drafted to SmackDown. The American Alpha has been drafted to SmackDown. Dolph Ziggler has been drafted to SmackDown. Natalya has been drafted to SmackDown. Alberto Del Rio has been drafted to SmackDown. The Usos have been drafted to SmackDown as a tag team. Also for SmackDown, the Demon Kane, or Kane, or whichever way you want to refer it to, has been drafted to SmackDown. Kalisto has been drafted to SmackDown. Naomi has been drafted to SmackDown. The Ascension has been drafted to SmackDown. Zack Ryder has been drafted to SmackDown. Apollo Crews has been drafted to SmackDown. Alexa Bliss has been drafted to SmackDown. Breezango has been drafted to SmackDown as a tag team. And then Eva Marie has been drafted to SmackDown. The Von Villains has been drafted to SmackDown as a tag team. Eric Rowan has been drafted to SmackDown. Mojo Rawley has been drafted to SmackDown. And Carmella has been drafted to SmackDown. And that is all of your draft picks for both Raw and SmackDown. What do y'all think, guys? What is your thoughts on that? And now we're going to get into what happened actually on SmackDown for the matches concerning, since we've already completed most of all the we completed all the draft picks. And anyway, so my most exciting draft pick of the night was, of course, Finn Balor getting drafted to Raw. Carmella also getting drafted. I was very excited about that. And like I say, guys, what do y'all think about these draft picks? Right now, it looks like we got a pretty interesting roster right now. If you ask me, for SmackDown and Raw, can't get any better. And tonight's main event was a absolutely awesome main event. And I do apologize, I'm having some issues with my laptop here for some reason. And like I said, I thought SmackDown and first SmackDown was just chaotic tonight. It was just chaotic. Because we had the WWE Network, they had their thing going. At the same time, the SmackDown was going live. We had live interviews that was going on while we had live matches going on. And to me, I thought that took away from SmackDown. I thought it was just a total mess. From start to finish, this show was a total mess. The matches were weak tonight. They were real short matches tonight. It was just a complete disaster as far as I am concerned. But the only thing that kept it interesting is the draft picks, naturally. But like I said, there was no way for everybody to keep up with what's going on the WWE Network and what's going on at SmackDown at the same time. It was just way too much for the fans to keep up, in my estimation. This was just a total wreck tonight, a horrible night for as booking is concerned. I think maybe they need to come get smarter and actually maybe have the draft like a different night, and then go ahead and do the actual SmackDown and do that when there's no wrestling going on, because it was just so much to keep up with. I had a hard time keeping up with everything tonight, and it was just way too long. 4 hours on the WWE Network tonight. It was just way too much stuff to digest at one time here. So, like I said, guys, that's my thoughts on that. Other than that, I was happy with the draft picks for the most part. We got Baron Corbin going to SmackDown. That's exciting. Carmella coming up to the main roster. That's exciting. I I think it's great. I think there's a lot of good things going on with this draft that I like. You know, we got Mojo Rowdy now going to give an opportunity to go to the main roster here now. That's exciting. Are you all any surprised at all that we did not get any returns, you know, from the past? Any legends drafted here? That's the most shocking thing for me, as we didn't see none of them. Like, we didn't see no Kurt Angle, we didn't see no Goldberg, no Jeff Hardy. You know, none of them popular names. We didn't see that happen here tonight in the draft. That was probably the shocking thing for me. We saw 6 superstars from NXT get drafted. That part was true, which that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I think maybe they could have threw a wild card in there and threw a Goldberg in.
Shock. Yeah, I was pretty shocked.
I just kind of tuned out. And then we wanted to fight and win.
I thought, what could I do now? Because we have so many ways to.
Like I said, guys, I think
proton therapy.
What they're doing with the SmackDown Live is going to be great.
In our treatment and our teams.
And
together. So cancer.
I think they're gonna have a lot of good things going on SmackDown Live.
History.
And like I said, we're just gonna have to wait and tune in to find out. You know, it's not gonna happen overnight. I mean, they're going to have to build up a show, and we still do not know, you know, if there's going to be a WWE championship for SmackDown yet. So a second championship. So we don't know that. A lot of questions still unanswered here. You know, and that's what's not good for us fans. I mean, we want to know who's going to be the champion for SmackDown, and is there going to be one? Is there going to be a tag team champions for SmackDown, or you know, is there going to be a women's championship for SmackDown? I mean, there's a lot of questions still unanswered right now, and I think a lot of for us being fans, we got to be still frustrated right now because we still do not know. A lot of things right now that's going on, and I guess we're just going to have to wait and see and just be patient. But you would think that they would go ahead and address that, you know, the second championship. So that's my only concern with that, and my concern is that them having this ongoing draft coverage while SmackDown's going live. That was just way too much for me. It was way too much, and I was fine with them doing a pre-show. That was fine. There was nothing wrong with them doing a pre-show. They want to do a pre-show, that's fine. But whenever SmackDown goes live, they should have stopped what they're doing, or if not stopped totally, but when it goes to a commercial break, then you can do the interviews, then you can do the talking or whatever they want to do. Don't cut into the actual show of SmackDown. That was downgrading the show, hurting the show. Like I said, that's what made this night a horrible night. It could have been a great night. And for what happened on the picks getting picked, that's the only thing that made the show worth watching, in my estimation. That's my thoughts. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to try this again. I've been having freaking issues with the laptop here tonight. It says it's a kind of a drag that Michael Cole was on commentary with Mario and Jerry the King Lawler and Baron Saxon, but Ronaldo is more than capable of carrying a blow by blow, and Saxon is the weakest member on Raw commentary team. It says there are too many voices, and it made much match call chaotic. I agree with this report here. It says that this was obviously done because both brands are being represented in the draft, but I can't wait for Ronaldo to give a free reign for SmackDown Live. Next, it was SmackDown's turn to select the top performer, Commissioner Shane McMahon, the General Manager Daniel Bryan, to go for the Man Gold, which was Dean Ambrose, drafted to SmackDown. And it was no surprise that Rollins and Ambrose were the top selection, and had Roman Reigns not been suspended, he would have been among the next superstars taken. As it stood, it would have weight and to hear his name called. Meanwhile, a return of a WWE World Heavyweight title match between Ambrose and Rollins is announced. The two men already battled a draw on Monday Night Raw the previous night before. The match will determine which man goes into Sunday's Battleground pay-per-view as the champion. Here's a look at the rest of the top 5 picks to come off the board before the match is underway. And like I said, I already told you the draft picks here, but Charlotte went to Raw. AJ Styles to SmackDown. The most exciting one, Finn Balor to Raw. And the set of the picks are significant because of the indication include the first female and NXT performer, Charlotte, to be the first from the women's division, and Balor makes the most sense of the intel of the NXT pick. It says both have achieved notable popularity and have been them on Raw. Seems like the right choice. Then we got John Cena. He defeated Luke Gallows tonight. It says, in case you forgot, there were matches on the Leger, and it says John Cena took the ring against the Club's Luke Gallows, and a face that runs the place haven't been drafted yet, but he came through with the win. Thanks for from the help from Enzo and Big Cass. The creative continues to build a 6-man tag team match between the Club, Cena, Enzo, Big Cass for the Battleground. Later took out Styles and Carl Anderson as they attempted to cause a distraction. Cena took the opportunity to nail Gallows with the attitude adjustment for the win. And here are some more picks. After Cena's win, it's time for the next 5 picks. We get Roman Reigns to Raw, John Cena to SmackDown, Brock Lesnar to Raw, Randy Orton to SmackDown, The New Day coming to Raw. Then we have Reigns will stay on a longer show. His selection will met the predictability course of the booze, actually. The WWE doesn't wait on national heat on their primary. It says superstars on their new show. Cena to SmackDown is also a wise choice. Though the crowd was always 50-50 on Cena, he's still a money in the bank when it comes to ratings. Putting him on a Team Blue helps legitimize the show. Lesnar landing on Raw is interesting. Did his control call for work on Monday nights and not Tuesdays? It wouldn't be surprised if it was the deciding factor. It is also better for him to be on Raw in the event he needs to appear immediately after the pay-per-views. And Darren Young and Zack Ryder defeated Rusev and The Miz. It says the match was a pleasant surprise, but both teams worked together, and it was almost as the teams had been together for months. There are several great 4-man sequences, including the leapfrog, Rough Rider. Zack Ryder also hit the drop kick to Rusev from the ring apron. It says a finish came with Young applied the crossface chicken wing to Miz. And the Intercontinental Champion quickly tapped out. And then this was the Young's best ring performance since Bob Backlund has attempted to make him great again. Bray Wyatt freaks out on Xavier Woods and then beats him. And I was kind of hoping that Xavier Woods is scared of Bray Wyatt. Angle would be, abandoned here. It is still alive. Woods and the New Day are headed to Raw, but the former was beaten down by the Wyatt. He cowered, and he looked mesmerized by Bray Wyatt's creepy charisma. It says, I borrowed that from the masterful Ronaldo. Wyatt won the match via Sister Abigail. Then we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are fighting again. The Demon Kane was supposed to take on Kevin Owens, but Sami Zayn crashed the party. He attacked Owens on the ramp, and the two men fought all the way to the ring. Kane would choke slam both of them in the ring, and with his pyro going off, naturally. Then we got more picks for you, and I've already told you all the picks, but I'm going to tell you again here. Sami Zayn's to Raw. Bray Wyatt to SmackDown. Sasha Banks to Raw. Becky Lynch goes to SmackDown. Then we got Chris Jericho to Raw. Then we got Sasha versus Charlotte feud is guaranteed to be a ongoing future for both women on Raw. Jericho is another part-time superstar headed to the Red Show. Then we got Charlotte and Dana Brooke beat Sasha Banks in the 2-on-1 handicap match. The WWE Women's Champion and her protege defeated Sasha Banks. There are a great sequence that took outside the ring in this match. And then Sasha planned Charlotte with a double knee takedown, but Dana would drop her with the wicked kick there seconds later. Both moves are assaulted here, executed so perfectly. Once back in the ring, Charlotte and Dana put their members' advantage to work. Sasha hits Dana with the bank statement, but just before Boss pulled off the finisher, Charlotte had tagged into the match. She broke up with the submission and delivered the national selection to get the pin. And there's some more picks here. We got Rusev and Lana going to Raw. The Miz, SmackDown. Kevin Owens, Raw. Baron Corbin, SmackDown. Enzo and Big Cass to Raw. Raw will definitely got the best selection of the picks with the due respect to The Miz, whom I love. Well, I don't agree with this part. But Owens, Enzo, and Cass and Rusev are among with the best performers in promotion. Chris Jericho defeats Cesaro tonight on SmackDown. The brutal of the Swiss Superman continues, and it's true it's awkward on the microphone, but his matches are excellent. To compound the fact that it hasn't been picked, Cesaro would be pegged to lose to Jericho. Jericho's credit is looked better in the match than he has in recent appearances, but Cesaro lacked the respect still, and Jericho hits the catching finisher, Codebreaker, to get the clear win there. Then Natalya was supposed to face Alexa Fox, but Becky Lynch came up to the ring and did a number on her rival, which is Natalya. Then we got more draft picks here. Luke Gallows to Raw and Carl Anderson to Raw. The American Alpha to SmackDown. Big Show to Raw. Dolph Ziggler to SmackDown. Nia Jax coming to Raw. Then the most major team split here takes place as Gallows and Anderson are disconnected from AJ Styles. Truth be told, Styles doesn't need a faction. He quickly become one of the biggest superstars in promotion. The question is now, will Gallows and Anderson be buried? Another interesting pick is the selection is Nia Jax. She should be Sasha Banks' partner at Battleground, and things have been put in place with Sasha and Nia Jax on Raw. A brief team would likely work. The last round television picks. And Neville's going to Raw. We got Natalya to SmackDown, Cesaro to Raw, Del Rio to SmackDown, Sheamus to Raw. And also Dean Ambrose wins clean with a massive piece. And Dean Ambrose defeated Seth Rollins cleanly to maintain the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title. I don't know why they keep saying that. It's the WWE Championship. The match on SmackDown was executed much better than they brought on Monday on Raw. I don't agree with that. I thought tonight's match was horrible. I thought Monday Night Raw's match was better. That's just my opinion, so I'm not going to agree with everything they say here in this report. There are some sweet reversals and the high-impact moves. And then Rollins attacked Ambrose before the bell rung. But Ambrose would win after he reversed the suplex into a Falcon Arrow. The champion dropped Rollins with the dirty deeds to retain his championship. And there are some more picks. Here we go. I've just told you all the picks, but again, we got Golden Drew to Raw, SmackDown, Usos, Raw, Titus O'Neil, SmackDown, Kane, Paige, Raw, Darren Young, Raw, Kalisto, Raw, SmackDown, and then Sin Cara to Raw, SmackDown, Naomi, Jack Swagger to Raw, SmackDown, The Ascension, Raw, The Dudley Boys, SmackDown, Zack Ryder, Raw, Summer Rae, SmackDown, Apollo Crews, Raw, Mark Henry, SmackDown, Alexa Bliss. Then Raw, we got Baron Strowman. SmackDown, we got Bruce Zango. Raw, we got Bo Dallas. SmackDown, Eva Marie. Raw, Shining Stars. SmackDown, Devon Villains. Raw, Alicia Fox. SmackDown, Eric Rowan. Then we got Raw, Dana Brooke. SmackDown, Mojo Rawley. Raw, Curtis Axel. SmackDown, Carmelo. And that is your complete results right there. Oh, baby, what a roster we got filled up here for SmackDown and Raw. And like I said, guys, I want to be reposting this results here of draft results on my page here on the WWE All Results page for you. I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in tonight. We're not going to do any fan calling tonight because it's already getting late here. Like I said, we got a late start doing this podcast tonight because, SmackDown was, 4 hours tonight. Well, it was 2 hours on USA, 4 hours on the WWE Network. And like I said, I already gave you your thoughts on how I thought this was a complete disaster tonight. They did have some good points. The main event was okay. I think Monday Night Raw main event was a lot better between Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. I'm talking about. Tonight was okay, and you can definitely tell that Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins were completely exhausted in this match in the main event tonight. I just thought this tonight, the main event was should have not happened. It happened too soon because the night before they just had that brutal match between for the championship. I think they try to rush a show, they try to put something quick together. I know. And with this draft going on, we had shorter matches tonight. We didn't get to see a good quality match tonight. Even the main event might have been the only thing worth watching tonight, and that's really sad to tell you that, but that's the truth. I want to tell you how it is around here on my podcast. I'm going to keep it real, and that's how I like to keep it on the podcast. Because tonight the draft took away, and the WWE Network took away from a SmackDown quality show. If you ask my opinion, Raw was better than SmackDown, and Raw wasn't really that good either. Now, the only thing interesting with Raw is they had a 12-man tag team match that was halfway worth watching. And the main event was awesome. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins laid it all on the line in the main event. And they gave us a unbelievable match on Raw. And here we go on SmackDown. It just seemed like they were completely exhausted. And it just looked like it did not have the same excitement feel to it. That's just my opinions. These are my opinions, guys. This is what I do. I keep it real on my podcast here. I tell you what I think. But I definitely think by them doing this WWE Network exclusive thing while SmackDown was going live, completely disrespectful to SmackDown. That's fine. If they want to do interviews and all that stuff, do it in between the commercials on USA. Show some respect to USA. Show some respect to SmackDown. Like I said, the fans, half the fans were probably not even watching SmackDown tonight. I just don't think the ratings are going to be good for SmackDown. That's just my thoughts. But like I said, guys, I'm very excited about the draft picks coming up from NXT. Can't talk tonight. Been talking for a long night here. Alexa Bliss, very excited about her coming to the main roster to SmackDown. Carmella coming to the main roster. Mojo Rawley from the main roster. That is awesome. Great news, but I was just really wondering why we didn't see Austin Aries, why we didn't see Shinsuke Nakamura. Why did we not see a lot of these other names from NXT not come up yet? Just really disappointed in some of these draft picks here. Like I said, we do have a great roster on both sides. Don't get me wrong. I just thought maybe we could see some more interesting picks. But we did not get that tonight, like I wanted. Naturally, the Undertaker was not in this draft. But, I'm happy that Enzo and Cass are still together. They're on Raw. That's fine. I'm cool with that. But the club is no longer together. We got AJ Styles on SmackDown. Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows are on Raw. So that really sucks. Because I thought they had a good thing going there. They had a good storyline. And whether we like it or not, it made the show interesting. The New Day's still together. That's a good thing. They're on Raw. Golden Truth's still together. That's cool. The Usos are still together on SmackDown. That's fine. The Ascension are still together on SmackDown. That's cool. Breeze Zango, I could care less about these guys, but they're still together on SmackDown. The Von Villains are still together on SmackDown. I could care less about them as well. The Dudley Boys are still together on Raw. The only thing we did not see is, the Lucha Dragons. They got split up, which we've already knew that they were going to get split up. So, and the Shining Stars are still together. That's all right. I don't think these guys are going to go anywhere. But they're still together, so maybe they can do something with them. Hopefully, I'm hoping. We got Mark Henry on Raw. I thought Mark Henry was getting ready to retire. Same thing with Big Show. Really surprised that, Big Show's still there. And, Curtis Axel is on Raw. The Social Outcast is split up now. We got Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel still on Raw. But Heath Slater is not there. He didn't get drafted tonight by either Raw or SmackDown. And Apollo Crews is on SmackDown. I'm excited about that. And I'm happy that Neville is on Raw. That's great. He's going to be great there. Rusev's on Raw. That's great. Kevin Owens is on Raw. That's great. Cesaro's on Raw. Sheamus is on Raw. That's going to be cool. Titus O'Neil and Darren Young are both on Raw. Could we see them guys get back together, as a primetime, faction again? Very possible with Bob Backlund. Anything's possible. What are they going to do with Sin Cara now? What are they going to do with Kalisto? They're separated right now. That's the big question right now. What are they going to do with them? What are they going to do with Summer Rae? Do they have anything going for her? I doubt it. Braun Strowman, I think they could do something with him if they do something. They need to do something with him because that guy has all the potential to be great. And Zack Ryder, same thing with Zack Ryder. They has all the potential to be great. Let's see, what other names have I not mentioned here? We got Eva Marie. I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything with her. Carmella. That's a girl that they need to do something with her right there. And Eric Rowan. I don't know what they can do with Eric Rowan. I mean, let's see. Baron Corbin on SmackDown. Very excited about that. I love this guy. Big fan of Baron Corbin. Because I watched him in NXT. They brought him to the main roster. They did everything that I wanted to, pretty much what I wanted him to do with him. They are doing it. And Becky Lynch, you know, she's on SmackDown. I'm excited about that. Randy Orton, the Viper's there. John Cena. And, of course, AJ Styles there. Bray Wyatt, Dean Ambrose. Yes, I pretty much mentioned everybody. American Alpha. Really excited about them guys getting an opportunity, got their foot in the door. They could really make them a great tag team. And Natalya on SmackDown. That's going to be great. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Natalya. And Kane. What could they do with Kane? Could they bring back the Demon Kane? I mean, that's what everybody wants to see. And Naomi, she's back. Yep, glad to see Naomi back. And looks like I just pretty much mentioned everybody's name. Chris Jericho on Raw. Charlotte there on Raw. And the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. That's going to be interesting there. I think they need to keep Brock Lesnar on Raw because, after the pay-per-view night, you're going to need to keep the big guy on Raw. That makes sense. I'm cool with that. Like I said, there is some things I do have some questions about. I mean, you split up the Lucha Dragons. That's a big problem there for me because that's my favorite team. And now I don't know what they can do with them single stars now, but we'll just have to see what happens. And I think they should have split up the Shining Stars because I don't know what they could do with them together as a team, a tag team. So we'll just have to wait and see, guys. And that's all of the roster, of draft rosters. And I've just pretty much went over my thoughts on everything. And like I said, guys, we want to close out this podcast always with a song. And we're going to close it out with Battleground song here. Thanking each and every one of y'all for tuning in. We're going to be going live again, of course, very soon with some indie promotion master guests as well. Please go follow my podcast and like. And everybody have a wonderful night. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll keep you in touch with more news as it comes available. Everybody have a good night.
Target on my back, lone survivor last. They got me in the sights. No surrender, no trigger, fingers go. Living the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day when I wake, I'm trying to get up, they're knocking me down. Chewing me up, spitting me out. Hey, 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 when I need to be saved, you're making me strong, you're making me stand. Never will fall, never will end. Shot like a rocket up into the sky, nothing can stop me tonight. You make me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave. You're my titanium fight song, raising up like the roar of victory in a stadium. Who can touch me? 'Cause I'm who can stop me tonight? You make me feel invincible. I feel it. Invincible. I feel it. Invincible. Here we go again. I will not give in. I've got a reason to fight. Every day we choose, we might win or lose. This is the dangerous life. Hey, 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 every day when I wake, they say that I'm gone, they say that they've won. Hey, 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 when I need to be saved, they're counting me out, but this is my round. Shot like a rocket up into the sky, nothing can stop me tonight. You make me feel invincible, earthquake powerful, just like a tidal wave. You make me brave. You're my titanium fight song, raising up like the roar of victory
Oh my God.
Let's go!